My prayers have been heard, and we are getting yet another free update. And it is actually going to be a great one, which is having a lot of implications, but more about that later. Stick with me, I have something very important to say about Planet Coaster 2 and this very update. I'll get to that at the end, but let's jump into it, because there is quite a bit to talk about. It is, at the first glance, it doesn't look like much, but it is a pretty significant free update with a lot of fixes and wishes that the community had in the past. So we're going to go straight into the first thing, and that is we are getting a entertainment illumination kind of thing, and this is basically some of their kind of coating, is that what you say, or like the mascot costume itself. Some of this is actually illuminated, as you can see over here at nighttime. For example, that shark over here has like a glowing kind of glasses, and the board is doing its illumination thing, and equally you've seen King Coaster having its coaster band robe, or whatever you call that belt, being illuminated. Let's quickly go back to showcase that around there. You have that. Really striking. I am so in love with that. I think the emphasis on night, more about that later, has been falling short in the past, so I really do hope that this is going to be changed, but that is a very welcome change indeed. As you can see here, over Gulpy Rex over here has some elements on its t-shirts being glowing, really cool. And if we move forward, you can even see this is Queen Splash with her illuminated inflatable, and then we can also see that that wonderful kind of guy with the Greek guy with its what's a harp? Yeah, the glowing harp. And then you can also see you can activate, deactivate, or put it to night only. I think this is one of the few things that in the past always have been really annoying me, because Frontier used to just bringing that stuff in, and then these kind of fixes they have done previously, like with the coaster lights, for example, they then forgot on new fixes, but this time around they finally have done exactly what they're meant to do, bring the same fixes already to the new stuff again. Very good. I really like the fact that we have control over that, because some people just may not like having all these illumination stuff, and you want to build more classic ways, then you can. It's like all about the options. It's maybe one of the things that people don't really like pay too much. It doesn't break or do the game, but it's really interesting to see. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is really cool, and this is one of the absolute community favorites. I remember on stream on the weekend, people have been asking for that 10 times again. It is Vista Points. They do return. Well, to be fair, the game itself should have fixed the need for Vista Points in the first place, which it didn't. So Planet Coaster 2 doesn't really have that like kind of elevated gas flow that they would meander around and look at scenery by themselves. They do kind of do this with coasters and attractions, but they don't do that with like scenery. So this is a very welcome addition to just make the guest interaction so much better. And following up the arcades from the last update, this is yet another point going into that direction. But even more exciting than this, I'm just going to skip forward because we have something else to talk about in a bit. We are getting something ridiculously demanded. I believe Taggy is the one who is about to come right now, and I'm sorry, pardon my words, but this is exactly what I had in mind, because this is the Taggy 3D piece, if you will. It is a event point. I'm going to brief you in on that one real quick, because we see the menu in a second. It's more than that. With this event point, guest, not you, guest can trigger event sequences. When they go there, they can basically push a button, or you yourself can, if you are in the guest mode, and you can put down actions. This is incredible, because this will allow you to have random, unlimited interactions with your guests. You can make them, for example, over here, they trigger some effects for the coaster. There you can see the ship is going to get illuminated by it, or here you can see that flame, or these two guards, like on the push of a button, they actually open up that gate. You can literally make mazes, for example, now if you wanted to, and even have a maze with interactive points in that maze. You can literally create your own maze without having the maze attraction in, put a couple of, Vista points in there, and then also make sure that you've got some event sequences, or like, or they're called event points, in which you can start an event. How insane is that? You can see over here, for example, that little kraken is being placed, and this is where I wanted to go. This is the event point, and there are a couple of really cool things to see in here. First of all, you can set the focus. That has been the same thing as in the first game. For those of you who don't know, you click on set the focus, and you can basically click on any scenery piece in here. So that means if you click on set focus and you click on one of these shields, they will exactly focus with their view and their standing, and how they're like overall the guest will focus on that shield. So you can actually direct a little bit how they should look and so on. Then you can edit the sequence and browse trigger objects, which is cool. You can even like edit stuff to it, or you can obviously edit sequences to it. So you, if you already like Taggy, already have the most crazy things in life, you can add. And the best thing about this is, I'm not sure if you guys have seen that, but yesterday, Mineral had its new episode featuring Taggy, where they made like a functioning bowling alley. The problem is functioning only in that sense that the bowling alley was, there was a need to trigger it yourself. If you go into guest mode camera, they would get. Now you could actually place these things in and put the bowling animation that Taggy made in, and people would actually play bowling then. You could even enlarge the whole idea of like these kind of ruffle games, you know. If you create like a lottery game or whatnot, you could put all these things in a arcade, and you know, you can even build like an arcade machine around that thing, and it's actually being used as an arcade if you're able, like Taggy, to create some magic in game with the wonderful platforms. Or you can even play like, it doesn't even matter. You could even play like just like a little video game, and they would admire that. You can literally do everything with this. And what's also even more special is it seems like you can choose a guest reaction. So at the moment you've got admire, and maybe you can, you know, for example, take a photo or cheer or jump or whatnot. That is so freaking cool, because then you can even switch around the different things that they should do during that time. That is really special and really cool. I'm a huge fan of this thing. I'm a huge fan of that thing, and they will be all found in the entertainment tab, which again, I just need to recommend you stick with me till the end, because I need to talk about a couple of things. Then we get a couple of more festive items as well. We're going to talk about that in a second. You can see there are some of the confetti cannons over here, but more important than that is we now have tracks on path, and people have discovered that already. So this is just the official announcement of the patch, because legit that was almost already in the game. Not as natural as it looks over here, because it seems like really they can naturally be embedded in the path, which I'm pretty sure that is how the parades would work as well. So this is definitely a feature that comes with the parades as well. So really nice that they give us also use of it in the base game version. You can have the bus, the steam train, the family train, and I believe that's it. Yeah, and you can also see like over here, people walk over it. But as you've maybe seen at Taggy or whoever has made the video about that, people already stand still if a train is passing by. That seems to be already in the game. People have found that out. Here you can see it in action actually. You can confirm, and people will actually actively wait for it. So you can build that even on elevated, which is really cool. As you can see, it just kind of fills in that bridge over here. A little issue here, please fix. And then if you go in, they can even build underground, which is also pretty damn cool, like an underground station if you wanted to. Fantastic to do that. And yeah, it just looks freaking awesome. It looks really cool that we have finally that ability on, and also having guests react to that is even better than just having this as a visual thing. Now it is even reactive. So celebration scenery is something that we get randomly, but I guess this is somehow fitting to the DLC that will be built around parade. So it's kind of nice to have this bunting, which comes in various versions. Really cool, obviously scalable, recolorable, whatever. You can see some of these very nice, very fantastic to have, but also they don't stop over there. The souvenir shop, just a memento, does get a new couple of new items, they say, and they have new guest souvenir, and they do speak about a flag, for example, that they have in their hand, as you can see over here, with their favorite entertainer on. So that means you can have a flag for each entertainer. I'll turn off the sound over here. And they do not talk about that, but eventually in the next shot, you can see there is even more so some other stuff. These things I don't remember, but at least what we can tell is these things now do also glow in the dark, which is kind of cool, and it just ever so much more gives you the idea of having these illuminated things at night, and just make a lot more kind of atmosphere, you know, and atmosphere is something I really need to talk about in a second, because that's been it with the free update, and it is coming on the November. Oh my god, no, it's not. That's on June 25th, and this is in about 11 days from the time I'm recording this, because I had that a little earlier thanks to Frontier, but also it is in 10 times from the day you will be able to get that. So this is pretty damn cool. But again, and I will keep this thing playing. Oh my god, there is even a little teaser at the end, and yeah, this is something we have to talk about as well, my friends. This is a wonderful little thing I highlighted, but that is the RMC Raptor, and I know that a lot of people were dying for this coaster, and so it is. And you can see the reveal 18th of June, so a couple days more, we will be getting a reveal of what is going to be the next DLC. And this is where I wanted to end this whole thing, simply because, yeah, let's just stick with a wonderful screenshot over here. It doesn't matter. Please listen for a couple more minutes, because I have something rather important to say. I know there has been a huge hype around Planet Zoo 2 lately. There has been a huge amount of people joining the channel because of Planet Zoo, and I'm rather sure that not too many watch this. But if there are some people amongst you who are really more of the zoo people, and for those of you who also have been coaster people and have been a little bit upset about the game at the beginning, which is fair, please reconsider if you want to grab the game, at least the base game, and give it a shot. I have been worried, and I've been talking about this when the last free update was released, and I was like, okay, it's a very good free update, the arcades were nice and so on, but I was actually fearing that we are going to receive a DLC now without a free update. I am incredibly happy that we are looking at another significant free update, and the willingness of Frontier to keep this game pushing forward. But there is a catch to it, and it's a very positive one. While the last free updates most likely have been always not random, but they were adding a whole bunch of things that they needed to fix the game for. This one is the first that feels that the game has a very straight and obvious direction now. And let me elaborate on that one. The DLC we are getting is most likely built around arcades and parades, or actually parades, because arcades already we had. But the idea is entertainment is in the focus. And I think one very justified criticism that was always meant to be around Planet Coaster 2 is that the new game doesn't feel like that huge of a step forward if you don't look at the new building features and stuff. People were a lot about talking about the atmosphere, about the game as itself, playing the game, looking at the game, and that, you know, it was a fair point. Despite the fact people and so on have been increased and improved quite a lot, it's like from playing the game you may not notice. However, all these late additions to the game, like arcades, for example, now with I'm not talking about the entertainment points or the Vista Points, what's it called? Entertainment points? Or it's actually, no, I'm talking about these animation points, where they can trigger events, or event points, that's what they call them. The Vista Points obviously is just a fix, but the event points, they are really a new kind of area for the game. The same goes for an increased amount of interactivity with like the trains on track, for example, or on path, that people will actually reactively stand there and wait for the train to pass. So it's a lot of layers coming to the game, adding to the atmosphere of a theme park. And oh boy, am I loving this direction. This is exactly what people have been waiting for, and it opens the door for future additions like playgrounds and like, for example, splash pads and splash areas in pools. And this is exactly where everyone wanted the game to go, to make it really feel significantly better. Not only a little better or better, it's significantly better than its predecessor. And you could argue that Planet Coaster 1, you know, doesn't hold up that well anymore because of the graphics and so on. That's all fair. That's all fair. However, the one thing that a lot of people say is, yeah, but the main idea about the game is pretty much the same. And this is where I can still, you know, agree to quite a bit. I wouldn't say that Planet Coaster 1 has one single argument left for me personally, but I do see people having an argument there. What I do love is that Frontier seems to really have this game now on a strong path. As they literally said in their annual report, they have a strong roadmap of content planned. And as I said, the first time ever, this feels like they know where to go now. They have a very clear direction where they want to build this game to. And seeing what they were capable of doing with Planet Zoo 2, hopefully that translates over into here as well. And we're looking at a very bright future. I cannot wait for the 18th to talk about the reveal and what we will get, and hopefully we'll get a lot of crazy things that would add to what I'm just talking about. I would love to talk to this. This is just like, I'm looking forward so much. I love my coaster game, and I would love to see a lot more people loving this game as well and giving it a shot, giving it another chance. And for those of you who are wondering, because I am always a theme park builder type of guy and not player, if you will, but on my German channel, I'm currently running a franchise Let's Play where I'm only using blueprints. I'm playing the normal game with all challenge modes on, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing this to make a review video on this channel to talk about how the game actually feels playing. And I'm kind of shocked to how negative everyone was about this, because so far, 4 hours in, I really have a pretty good time, and I would say a better time than I ever had in Planet Coaster 1, due to a lot of factors I'm not going to talk about in this video, because we have that dedicated video where I will be talking about this. But so, just so you know, I'm trying my best to really get every single point of view in to understand where we are at. And I have the feeling we are at a very good point now to move forward and make this game stand out more and more with every single update. Anyways, what do you think about this free update, and what do you think will we get alongside the parades and the single rail coaster, which is an interesting choice, by the way, to just parades, but that's a different story. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. I am super hyped for it. I cannot wait to talk more about what's coming. I cannot wait to talk more about what we will see on the 18th. I cannot wait for the 25th to have that update finally at hand. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you can, have a little bit of something from my hype here. That would be fantastic. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to have more info on all these games, all these Planet games, builder games, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. That helps me out quite a bit. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you, as always, in the next one. Bye.